Good afternoon, welcome back to my cozy cat vlog. I hope your Sunday has been filled with joy, just as my Sunday been filled with joy, and has been so peaceful with Christian music playing on Amazon Music. I had a friend since middle school named Joy, and joy is my favorite word as she passed away 6 years ago, and I miss her. On her first heavenly birthday, I was living with a family that had their whole family living in one house. The mom and her grown kids, his son and his family, and her daughter, and their cousin also lived there, including me. On my friend Joy's heavenly birthday, her husband and kids did a special balloon release for her. So since I couldn't be there with them to participate, I decided to do a balloon release of my own and got balloons in her favorite colors, yellow and purple. When I released her balloons, the balloons went into the tree, and I thought for sure they was going to stay in the tree forever. But magically the balloons got out of the tree on their own, as if my friend Joy reached from the heavens to get her balloons out of the tree. I felt that moment as a sign that in the future I would move out of those people's house and hope for a better life, which happened. In August of 2020, when I moved out of their house, and the women I was living with took advantage of my money and made me pay her a lot of money for rent, which was over $400 every paycheck. And when I got offered a room for rent from a customer offering me to rent a room from him, she tried to tell me that I couldn't move out as she wanted my money. But what I said to her made her change what she said, and I moved out of their house. She tried to make me pay her more money, but I refused to pay for carpet damage that I never caused to her. One day I saw her on the bus, and she said hi to me and asked me how I was doing. I said I'm fine, and went back to being to myself. Then she said don't forget about the money I owed her, and I thought to myself, over my dead body will I pay her more money. And ever since then she has never saw a dime from me, and I never saw her again. After that day, I saw her on the bus. The man that I moved in with, at first things was going smoothly, but then the moment I took him to my church to revival service, and he took me to Waffle House, things took a turn after I decided to have my own choice of what I wanted to order. If I can recall, I had a Philly breakfast on Texas toast, which was very good, as I grew up being able to order whatever I wanted with no issues until that day. He took me to Waffle House expecting me to order something like he ordered that was cheaper on that bill. He never gave me a limit of what I could order, and I assumed I can order whatever I wanted to order with the price not concerned to him. Then after the church service and Waffle House issue, he started raging, yelling at me for every antic that triggered him that was not even my fault, for causing him to have triggers to his antics. And this happened for the next year and a half of me living with him. One time I prayed to the Lord and asked him to get me away and moved out of his house, as I want happy living with him. And I felt like it was a mistake, as he was a drunk that went to AA thinking he was a recovering alcoholic, but he was still drinking beer and wine when he shouldn't have been drinking if he was attending AA meetings and getting a coin of recondition of not drinking. I believe he lied to those people, saying that he hadn't had a drink when he was still drinking beer and wine. At first I drank wine with him in the garage a couple times, but then I decided to stop drinking with him after a couple times to protect myself and my sanity. Finally, after a year and a half of living with him and dealing with a drunken, raged man yelling at me for no reason, God took me away. One day I came home from work and he accused me of a plumbing leak in the bathroom. The whole time I lived with him, he expected me to ask him permission to use a shower or a bathtub. I refused to ask for permission, so I used to wait until he left so I could take a shower, but then one day I had a gut feeling that one day he would blame me on faulty plumbing. So I decided that I wouldn't use the shower if I am not comfortable about asking him if I can use the shower, which I shouldn't have had to ask him to take a shower. So I decided I wouldn't use the shower, but I cleaned myself the best I could in the sink and cleaned the sink off, removing the water splashes from the sink with my towel that I kept in my room. Then the day came a year and a half later where he got in a rage and blamed me for that plumbing leak and told me I had to leave in 2 weeks and that I had to find a new place to live. Then a few days later he blamed me again, and this time he locked the doors on me and wouldn't allow me to come in and told me I had to leave his property with my things in the room I was renting. I had to persuade him to let me get my chargers for my phone and my watch. I went to the Family Dollar and called my teacher that had already found me a place to move to, that I was waiting for me to be able to move in with a girl. She paid for me to be in a motel for a few days, and then I was able to go get my things from the man house, but I had police with me in case if he tried to do anything shady to me for my protection. He was pissed that I had police with me for my protection, and he was raging at me the whole time, calling me bad, unkind names while I was packing my things up and moving them to the back door to transfer outside to put in my teacher's van. Her husband helped me transfer my things that I placed to the deck to the van. It was hard work and it took a long time, but I got it done. That night was very stressful for me, with a lot of drama from the man, but I'm glad it's in my past. I'm glad everyone from my past can't find me now, as I live so far away from Henrico County, Virginia, as I requested from God that He take me far away, which happened in 2024 when He took me to Chesterfield, Virginia. I remember crossing the river and thankful that Henrico was far behind on the other side, feeling relief that I was finally leaving Henrico, VA, and I knew a fresh start of my life was coming. If it weren't for Jesus being my best friend, my Lord and Savior, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have my trio of cats that are my fur children when my human kids disowned me and left a big hole in my heart that now my fur children fill in for me to stay happy. I love my family I have at home and my life. Thank you for watching. Orange Heart Quote: warm hearts always find their way back home.